Hey, we're Chips and Salsa.
And in this video, we're going to share with you what curriculum we're doing with our 8th graders.
Hey, I'm DeeDee.
I'm Ximena.
Welcome to our channel, Chips and Salsa Homeschooling. We're the Chips and Salsa ladies.
Yeah, we're so happy that you're with us today. Check us out on social media. We are on Instagram, on Facebook, and also don't forget to subscribe. On this channel, you will get a lot of encouraging, practical tips from us and fun tips. And you will also get some reviews like for different curriculums and what we're doing for the year.
Yeah, so in this video, we're talking about what we're doing with our 8th graders this year. Middle school is almost over.
Our last middle schoolers, guys, it's here.
Yeah, so we really want to make this year full of fun, full of laughs. So
yeah,
let's get into it.
That's our goal. So we'll start with history. So as you guys know, we're Book Shark fans. We like it. It's easy to use, easy to follow. It's literature rich.
Yes.
So we just went back to what we knew. We loved what we did last year. If you haven't checked out our video from last year about what we did last year for history, be sure to check it out. It's on the card.
So this year we're doing U.S. history. So we're doing Book Shark level I. So far so good. You got your huge Book Shark
binder
full of the 36 weeks, full of the schedules and all of the information you need to do school.
Yeah. Well, what we do is, and we've shared this on some of our videos, is we keep a separate work binder. You know, in this work binder that I've had for a few years now, I have passwords, I have the kids' goals, I have their plan, I have all my pacing guides for all the subjects. And then, you know, I take out about 4 or 5 weeks at a time and I put it in here. And that way it's just easy and I don't have to, you know, go to the big binder.
Yeah, it works so much better. And in addition to all these papers, this year we have Book Shark Virtual. We did a review on that, so check that out if you're interested. Book Shark Virtual allows us to just log into Canvas and have all of these papers at our laptop.
Yeah, it's really great because I have binders that I set up for the kids, but they don't use them that much. And as you can see, I put it together here for them. I ordered some number tabs to number the weeks. And so, you know, they have it all in there in case, you know, for some reason they don't have their laptop or whatever, but it's all laid out for them. So check that out.
Book Shark's full of books. And this year for U.S. history, we're going through the book series, A History of Us. There's 10 books in this series. Yeah. So we've got a lot of reading to do.
My kids are really enjoying those so far. My daughter said, hey, Mom, it really reminds me of Story of the World.
Yeah.
And I love it because we love Story of the World. If you've seen our previous curriculum choices, and this is just for their level. It's like a little older. And so I love it because I don't want to lose that narrative and that intrigue, you know, with history.
Yeah, so far we've enjoyed it a lot. I feel like because they're so detailed, each volume has so much detail, they are getting more in-depth information about each of these topics that they've covered before, but now they're older and they're able to really dig into some subjects.
Yeah, well, in addition to those books, they also have different historical books. I mean, some of them are fiction, historical fiction, some of them are not, are based on true stories, and there's a whole list of them. So these, my kids are doing on their own. So my son is reading all of these on his own, and then he is going to Book Shark Virtual and answering the questions for comprehension and just kind of deeper level thinking. So there's a few of these, and again, this is for like the whole year.
With the curriculum this year, level I, the kids are given the schedule, so we don't have to tell them what the pacing guide is. They know exactly what book they're on. They know how many pages they're supposed to read each day. So that works out really well for independence. In addition, the Book Shark curriculum comes with timeline entries, and we've been using this timeline for a few years, so they've already got a lot of stuff in there, but you can see how it's laid out. So my daughter is adding to her timeline this year, and that's kind of a fun little thing we do once a week.
Yeah, it also comes with maps, but the cool thing about the maps is that these are on the Bookshark Virtual, so if you decide to do that, they just have to click on it, which is pretty fun for them. I like it.
Yeah. On the Bookshark Virtual also, there's pictures and maps that you can look at before the reading, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to language arts. So that's pretty hefty usually because we have a lot of literature books. So again, Bookshark has a lot of books to read for language arts, but we swapped out some because we had read some already, and also there were some that I wanted.
Big stack.
Yeah, let's get the big stack. It's bigger than that. So we've already read one of these, and we're halfway through this one. So we'll show you the ones that we swapped out. Oh, and there's more. So these three, I'm not doing. You're doing them, right? Still?
I'm doing this one and this one. I'm not doing the Sacagawea.
So it's Dear Mr. Henshaw, which I'm not doing, but you're doing it.
Yes.
I'm not doing Sacagawea. The only reason I'm not doing it is because my kids read a lot about Sacagawea in the past, and I just wanted to kind of skip some weeks on that. And then Children of the Longhouse, your daughter read.
She read it already.
My kids didn't. So we just kind of skipped that, and we started like in week 3, mainly because we've done a lot of previous study on like the Americas and everything prior to Columbus. So I just felt like there wasn't a need for us to go there again. Another thing that we are swapping out is To Kill a Mockingbird, because we did that last year. And so she had a great idea to replace it with Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry.
So this book is also centered around a young girl. In this book, it's a black family and her experiences in the South.
So Elijah of Buxton, we had previously read, like 3-4 years ago?
Yeah, which means they were like 5th grade.
Yeah, they were young. And we loved this book. And so I asked my son, do you want to read it again? He said, sure.
Yeah.
So I was like, yay! So yeah, we didn't swap this one out.
Yeah, this was one of our favorites, I remember. So I'm excited for them to experience it again in their older selves.
Yes, me too. Another one that I did swap out was Out of the Dust. It's mainly poems about the Dust Bowl. So we might like look into it. But somebody suggested The Four Winds. Now this is higher level reading. My son reads YA. He loves books like this, so I just wanted to give him something a little bit more meaty, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's by Kristin Hannah.
So we probably won't do that because my daughter is not that much of a reader. So I think she'll be happy to skip that.
In addition to literature, and again, they go into their Bookshark Virtual, and your daughter answers some of the questions. For us, we just discuss. That's what we do. All of these are read alouds for us. I know that you're doing some separately.
Yeah, some will be read alouds, and some of the history books will be read alouds, and then the others will be readers. So we kind of went through the list and picked them more based on what I feel like she'll comprehend and get on her own. Because she is kind of young for the 8th grade, and I want to be able to help her with some of the more meaty books.
Yeah, and that's what's great, and we always promote this whenever you do a curriculum. You customize it to you and to your children and what suits you. So that's what we're showing you that we're doing. In addition to literature, every day I have my son do a page of just cursive writing. He's still doing handwriting without tears like that he was doing a few years ago. But he still hasn't learned to write cursive.
It's a tough one sometimes, especially for boys.
I know. So I'm just like, just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. And then he has daily grams. This is grade 7. I don't really care because he didn't finish it. So I'm just going to keep going. I mean, I don't think that you need grade 8 grammar. It's just for practice anyway.
Yeah.
So I just have him do a page of that. And then for vocabulary, I'm subscribed to this program called Flowcabulary, which he really loves. And so he does that about every day. Sometimes we don't get around to it, but But it's really great for vocabulary. He's studying like SAT words and stuff. And
oh, nice.
So he likes it.
I actually have a subscription to that, so I need to get
She
my
would
daughter
love it.
back on that.
It's very musical, so it's like great for our kids. And I even want my high schooler to do some of them. And some of the things that it has too is beyond vocabulary. It'll have like things about the Declaration, the Constitution. It'll have U.S. history. So it'll have different events and even math facts and stuff like that. So I check it out because I'm loving it.
Nice. And then the curriculum comes with a poetry book, a treasure of poetry for young people. And I really like the way it's laid out. There's 7 different poets, and then there's a bunch. So there's a kind of a long biography about the poet, and then there's several of that poet's poetry. So we're doing one a month, and one poet a month. And during the course of the month, we're painting and we're talking about the poetry. And then I'm going to have my daughter write a poem in the style of that poet. And it starts with Carl Sandburg, and she does not like his style because it's all free verse. And she's like, I don't get this poetry. It's like a long story that I don't like.
That's funny. Well, I have not even opened that book. But I was thinking about how much I miss our tea and poetry.
Yes.
If you haven't checked out our tea and poetry video, check it out so you can see what we did previously. But I do want to incorporate some of that this year, even though we won't be doing it with the co-op. I want to do it with my kids, at least just for the enjoyment of it. So I am going to dig into that book later on.
And for math, we figure why fix what's not broken? So we're sticking with teaching textbooks, and this year, both of our 8th graders are on Algebra 1. I think it's 4.0.
Yeah.
It's all online, or all on their computer, and it's working good.
Okay, moving on to science. So I wasn't really going to do science because my son is doing like space science at the Learning Center. He's taking extra classes. But she's doing cooking with chemistry, and I was like, you know what? That would be good to do with my son too. So why don't you tell him a little bit about it?
So I wanted to find some good books that talked about chemistry and cooking. So I just went on a shopping spree on Amazon using my charter school funds. And I got this one, and I got this one, Science of Spices and the Science of Cooking. I really like these books, actually. And then the Science of Good Cooking. So we've got a lot of reading to do. And then as I was doing more and more research, I found Guest Hollows. Can you see that? They have an awesome curriculum store, and it's a mom and dad.
That's awesome.
Homeschoolers, or ex-homeschoolers, because they've got all older kids, and now that they're past the homeschooling time, they're devoted themselves to writing these great curriculums.
I love that.
I love that I found them for $35. I got the digital download of a complete schedule. I mean, it's really detailed. So we're not doing all the things that they offer, but they do have workbooks that go along with it. And one of the books was Culinary Reactions, which just sounds so great. So we've been reading through this and doing the worksheets that come with the Guest Hollows curriculum, and that's been really fun.
Score. That's awesome. Well, I also got the Culinary Reactions and the salt, heat, acid, or salt, fat, acid, heat, because I love the show on Netflix. So I just figured we could kind of watch it and do some of it. But I'm going to do a little bit of that curriculum, the one that covers the Culinary Reactions. We're just going to take it really slow and do it maybe every Friday and just kind of do a little bit at a time. I also got this awesome kitchen science experiments for kids. I mean, my son's a little older, but I just figured if he wanted to do something independently, then he could just go through this book or something, try something fun. I figured it wouldn't hurt.
It's all about having fun in 8th grade science, because after this they have specific sciences they have to cover for high school, and so we wanted to make it fun and interest-led. And my daughter loves cooking, your son loves cooking, so it just was a great find.
All right, and last but not least, we want to talk about just any extracurricular, what do you call them? Electives. Spanish is still something that I teach. I've kind of fallen off the wagon here and there. I do have a video about how I teach homeschool Spanish. We used to be so much more strict. My daughter being in high school, she started taking Spanish college level, so it's kind of just she broke off of my wagon. But with my son, I'm still doing this advanced Spanish step-by-step book, which really talks about grammar more than anything. So it's not fun, but it just keeps him sharp, you know, with his grammar and his spelling. It's been very helpful. We've been doing this since last year. But what's really cool is if you've seen my Spanish video, I talk about a journal that they have back and forth with their grandparents. And my father-in-law recently passed away, and my daughter was talking about how special it is that she has that journal, because she can look back on it and read all the answers and just kind of have that treasure always from her grandpa. And so I had this back and forth journal for them to practice their Spanish, going, you know, with their grandparents. And then my parents recently moved away to another state, so again, I don't have that anymore. So what I said was, you know what, instead of buying like an expensive outschool class or something for him to practice conversational Spanish, why don't I just do Zoom calls with my parents and have them do that? So that's what he's doing. They're doing that every week. My parents prepare just a quick 40-minute class, really, where they just talk about a topic, something really cool that they're interested in. And it's been challenging them. Like, I realize my kids are realizing they're not as fluent as they wish they would be. So this is good for them.
Well, that is so good, because I think when you're speaking English all the time, it's hard to stay bilingual for the young ones. Yeah. So that's awesome. Well, we're not bilingual at my house, but my daughter does love languages. And so she's really committed herself to learning Japanese.
I love it.
And my niece speaks Japanese, and she's been studying in college for a while, or she studied in college. So she's teaching my daughter over the computer. And, you know, sometimes they'll get together, but she'll be doing her flashcards and really working at it.
I love that.
All on her own. So I'm letting them do that, and it's a really great extracurricular, you know, elective that she's doing on her own.
Okay, and well, this next piece isn't really curriculum, but it is part of our year and part of our planning, and this is just the planners that we are using. Previously, I've used Clever Fox, which I love. This was actually a gift. You know, I haven't been in planning mode, guys, since COVID.
So what is that planner?
To be honest, it's called, and I don't know. Oh, the Life Planner. Daily Life Planner. But again, it was a gift, and I have been enjoying it because it's very simple. It takes it day by day, every day. I don't know if you could see this.
Oh yeah,
but every day you just, you know, you deal with it. So I like that it's day by day, that it doesn't have too many bells and whistles, because I was a bells and whistles planner person before, and I've changed in the last 2 years.
Well, and you got to keep growing and changing, right? Yeah. I've also liked the pre-made journals in the past, but this year I decided to do a bullet journal. And I'm not very artistic, so I didn't think I would keep up with it, but I have loved it. So actually, I opened up to this spread because I took this spread design from your journal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I just drew it in myself. And I'm not an artist, like I said, so everything is very simple. Like literally, I only have black and pink.
Hey, but it's really nice.
So no colors, but I've stayed on top of it, and I'll show you my October spread, which I already did. And I just draw it in, and then after this, I don't have anything drawn in yet, but I'm going to. And when I sit down and plan, I like drawing it in. I don't have any pictures. It's all just lines. So I don't have any of those extra boxes in my planner, like goal trackers, or, you know, some of them even have like how many cups of water, or any of that stuff that I'm not actually going to use. So doing a bullet journal makes every page usable.
Yeah. I do want to say something about that. You know, I think prior to COVID, and I know I'm not just speaking for myself, we were so all about goals and even tracking your water and tracking your exercise and tracking your steps, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that when the mind is overwhelmed, having so many things to track, it just kind of makes you feel like a failure sometimes.
Yes.
And so I just want to say, moms, if you are feeling like you just don't want to fill that stuff out, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Just keep a checklist. Do whatever gives you life at this time, because we're all processing things differently. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. And so we just want to encourage you that you don't have to be what you were before. You can move forward and change and serve the present self right now, because that's what's going to make you successful and feel confident in your homeschooling and parenting.
That is so true. So if a pre-made planner is self-care to you, go for that. And if not, some people just like putting everything on their phone.
Yep.
And that's good too.
Whatever works for you.
Well, we hope that you enjoyed hearing about our curriculum this year. Tell us what you're using down in the comments. We'd love to check out something new.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked out any of our other Book Shark videos, check those out. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on social media. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.